As always, to you on
Be the first to know.
our Core TV News.
From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa,
Federal High
we
Court.
break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News,
Welcome to Core
a
TV.
24-hour news station.
Very terrified video there showing Boko Haram allegedly taking over Bama, the second largest town in Borno State, of course, very close to Maiduguri. That's coming at the heels on the heels of Boko Haram taking over Goza, where they are said to have declared an Islamic caliphate. Well, there's the question of Bama. That's what we're asking on the show this morning. I'm joined by Adeyemi Arumolaro, a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for finding time to join us today.
Thank you, welcome.
There seems to be two sides of the coin. Why video sourced from Boko Haram shows that there is a takeover, an extension of the caliphate from Goza to Bama. The defense headquarters are saying otherwise, that we're still in charge. Who do we believe now?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, the problem we have with our system in Nigeria is that people in position of authorities, they rather disseminate information that they want their proprietor, that will gladden the hearts of their proprietor. So invariably, we can liken that to what is happening in the military also. If the military wants to convince Nigerians that, oh, they are in control or they are sharing Bama, then they should give us a video clip of Bama environment which they are actually controlling. So if we want to really actually have an authentic information about the situation, I think we Nigerians, we should balance our own story from the foreign media. Also, what I have from my information is that, okay, there is another city or town between Bama and Maiduguri, where the Nigerian military actually stays. So that is where they're able to control. They cannot actually move into Bama for now. And up to yesterday night, they have commenced, according to the news, they have commenced the airstrikes into Bama. So we hope they are anticipating and hoping that they will succeed in reclaiming Bama. So the information we have that we can believe is that the Boko Haram guys are in control of Bama.
You saw the people in that video. What do you make of it? The ammunition, the spirit of moving forward. Of course, there are some of them who are not even possibly just wearing sleepers, and some not even wearing anything. You see young people there. What do you make of that, in your opinion, of this terrorist group?
You see, it saddens one's heart because they say a stitch in time saves nine. Our government has shown lukewarm attitude to this issue right from its inception. And it is now escalating beyond what ordinarily we had thought of. People were thinking, oh, it was ordinarily, we don't want this kind of person in government. But today we can say that it is taking the dimension of situations in the war-torn Islamic states, like we have in Iraq, we have in Yemen, and so many other places where they have divided the country. So we look at what happened. The only thing we want our government to do is, the government needs to get sincere. Otherwise, nothing positive may be achieved. Yes, those guys, they have the money with which they are buying their weapons. If it were to be in the South, I would say, oh, they are giving out oil, crude oil to get weapons. But what do they have to give? No, so we can begin to insinuate that, look, their sponsors must be international, no more local. For them to have the sophisticated weapons that are superior to our home military authorities that is chasing away the military, then it tells us a lot that these guys, they are well equipped, they are well funded. And if we're talking of the source of funding, then we should look far, far beyond the Nigeria environment.
No, beyond all of that, I also want us to consider some emerging stories on the papers, because every of the paper today seem to have one thing or the other to say as regards the Boko Haram insurgency. But another interesting story here is that soldiers are moving their families away from, Maiduguri, moving them out of the barracks, and the papers are suggesting that there are intelligence reports that Boko Haram is likely going to strike at those places. What would you say, in your own opinion, could be responsible for such a fear coming from those who are supposed to be the military? For crying out loud, that part is supposed to be more fortified than any other part of the city.
Yes, the body language of average military man that is in the battlefront will be a good signal of the anticipated developments. Let us take it. So a wise man that sees what the soldiers are doing should know that they need to act fast, likewise. And I wouldn't blame the soldiers. They are human beings like you and I. They are not sacrificial lambs. They should not be wasted. When they are not equipped, when they are not properly and adequately motivated, when they are not mobilized, then they will not risk all they have. So they have to protect their families. If at least they would still volunteer to go to the battlefront, their families should be protected. You see, let us be realistic with ourselves. We do not have a government that is committed to ensure adequate security of Nigerians. Our government is not doing a situation, an environment the president himself cannot afford to go to. What does that tell you? The president has spoken the first language before the soldiers are, given their home. So if you want to talk about what the soldiers guys are doing, then think first of what the president has done.
But what could the government, have done differently, considering that there is presently emergency rule in 3 northeast states of the country? Close to a quarter of the 2014 budget was allocated to security. There seems to be a lot of ongoing initiatives from the side of the federal government. What could they have done differently?
You see, let me be frank with you. It is not sufficient. We know our major crisis in Nigeria. It is corruption. Corruption gives birth to this. At the wake of the kidnapping, the different international, developed countries came in, and within 1 month, they pulled out because they have seen that our system is not sincere. Our government is not committed. They are not making statements.
Okay.
They are not making statements. They are telling us we don't have a government. That is the implication. Because if they have seen and they observe what they felt government could address, they will have told government do this and this. But when they see that the problems are beyond the ordinary, they pulled out. So they are communicating something to us. And all of us as Nigerians, we can witness it, we read it. Look at in the wake of Osun election, government, it was reported government mobilized 25,000 soldiers to Osun. Meanwhile, they left less than 1,000 soldiers in Borno at the border. That is to tell us we are not sincere, we are not serious. Government needed to fortify that area security-wise to make sure that the funds being released are actually judiciously utilized for that purpose. Do we have a machinery there that actually... You see, everybody knows where the truth... Government set up a committee headed by the former general, Danjuma. He made a sarcastic statement that, Mr. President, we will not go to the Sambisa if you don't show us the pathway with a torchlight. They still believe, everybody believes that if the president believes and is committed to fighting this insurgency, he will motivate and mobilize every Nigerian. He will take the lead.
Are you saying that Mr. President should go to the Sambisa forest?
He must. Look, Obama made a trip to Iraq, unannounced trip, to motivate his soldiers. Why would our own president say because is Obama a soldier man? No, Obama is not a soldier man. But one of the easiest way to motivate the workers you have under you is for you to go to where they are and let them know that that place is not too risky for you not to be. When Mr. President cannot afford to go to Borno State, Maduguri at least, if he had gotten to Maduguri and he could not move beyond Maduguri, people would have still applauded him.
It's all right. We'll get back to that. Thousands of youths on Thursday thronged to the streets of Maiduguri, protesting against the increased spate of attacks in the state. And reports said there are about 10,000 of them, comprising mainly of members of civilian JTF. And they said they have resolved now to enter the Sambisa forest and, of course, other hideouts of the terrorists to hunt them down and put an end to these attacks. Let's start from the number. 10,000 protesting youths. What does that say?
See, it's just an emotional outburst. The situation has gone beyond what just a mammoth of crowd can say they will go and handle. An unarmed, untrained men cannot handle this situation. One, you are not trained to handle ammunitions. You are not trained to work in the terrain of the jungle, and you want to go and face terrorists that have gone through training.
From the reports, they said they have the support of retired military officers, local hunters, and of course civilian JTF with their local arms.
The local hunters were not trained in the act of warfare. This is not chasing gorilla, antelopes. This is not issue of night guy. We are talking of facing the heart of war. So even if you talk about the local hunters, put them aside, their own training is quite different from war fronts.
But are you saying that number does not count in this?
Number does not count. One ammunition can destroy as much as 1,000 in just a bit of seconds. These guys, they have sophisticated weapons. Are you saying Nigerian soldiers cannot boast, Nigerian military cannot boast of 10,000 soldiers?
But how do we balance this? They seem to have the motivation. They seem to have the inspiration.
You mean those people?
These civilians.
The civilians, they are not motivated. They are doing all those things out of emotional outburst. Oh, so don't let us misconstrue emotional outburst to the desire, to the motivational desire to carry out an assignment. They are going through trauma, and as a result, the action is like somebody who is ready to commit suicide. They have no place to go. They now decided that rather than live in our homes, we have lost our families, our children, our parents. Let us go and face our opponents. Realizing that, oh, some of them knows that, look, they will kill us. That is the worst. It does not imply that they have adequate trainings to go and face. They have weapons. How do you want them to go and face these people with just sticks, cutlasses, or what? They are not trained in the art of carrying weapons. So the truth must be told. The battle is not like the olden days war, where you go to the war front with mere fist. These guys, they have rocket launchers. They have submachine guns. From a distance of 100 meters, they are ready to face. So you see, the reality must be told. They cannot do anything.
But are you saying categorically that they have no role whatsoever to play in this ongoing?
At this point, it is too late. When they were needed was when they needed information, when the terrorists were living among them. That was when they were needed to provide the information. Except if the military will now take these volunteers and train them. That is the only saving grace we can have from them.
Okay.
But without being trained, you can't send them to the war front.
On the front page of the Saturday Vanguard, we hear Jonathan declares full-scale war, deploys warplanes, and then Defense Headquarters is saying we'll do everything to defend our territorial integrity. Full-scale war at this time. Would you say that is probably too late to declare?
Yes, very late. Many lives have been lost. Nigerian military had been debased. I mean, we all watched a situation where the soldiers were running away from the terrorists. We expected this longest time. Immediately, over 200 girls were kidnapped. It was sufficient enough for what to have been declared on them. The Cameroonian gendarmes, the authorities did not wait. They took the case seriously. But Nigerians, our government didn't show much interest. We were sending few number of soldiers to the place. But now we should have enough soldiers to go there.
Possibly the federal government was also being careful as regards not having civilian casualties, because in the case of an air raid, anything can happen.
No. The Boko Haram guys are not coming within the civilian environment any longer. They want to carve out their own territory. So it is the raid that should be targeted at their territories. The Bama civilians have left. Those that were left have been killed. So majority have left the Bama environment from Maiduguri, according to the reports. So if they declare war on Bama, it is the terrorists they will target there.
The military is claiming to have killed about 1,200 insurgents. So what is responsible for this large number? No one thought that they were in their thousands.
They should show us a video clips. They should convince us that they are working, that they have the equipment, they have the manpower. But all we can see today is they don't have the manpower, they don't have the equipment, or they are being denied the manpower if they have.
Okay, but I wouldn't want to agree totally that the Nigerian military isn't working at all, because you recall that this insurgency have been around since about 2009. The fact that there is still a democratically elected government in these northeastern states is a proof that Nigeria has indeed fought a good war.
No, you know, the scale of their activities wasn't this much. 2 years back, it wasn't this much. It was all still seen as a local opera, ethnic or religious gang up. That was what we were seeing. But in less than 10 months, they came out full strong. But our government did not come out seriously and take them seriously. Even after the kidnap of over 200, there were doubts in Aso Rock whether it was true or falsehood. So that was where the government missed it. Even if it was falsehood, we knew that, okay, these terrorists now exist. Move in there. So, you see, sincerely speaking, we need more conviction from the military. How do we be convinced that the military are working when they are moving out their families?
Okay.
It tells you that, look, their body language is telling us, look, we can't control the situation.
But I would love us to touch on the claims by this Australian negotiator, Stephen Davis, who actually mentioned certain names, 2 of them. When we come back after this break, we'll touch on the reaction and the steps being taken by the federal government in that light. It's called Digest Saturday edition. Stay with us, don't go away.
Nigerians continue to
Tonight, the city of Lagos waits and God as all
to you on
Be the first to know.
on Core TV News.
From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa,
Federal High
we
Court
break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News,
Welcome to Core
a
TV.
24-hour news station. You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Thanks for joining us again on Core Digest Saturday edition. We're discussing security, Boko Haram, the question of Bama. Of course, that story seems to be what you will find on every newspaper if you care to check today. I'm still being joined by our current affairs analyst at DME Arumolaro. Thank you very much for staying the course on the show today.
Thank you.
Ihejerika and Alimodu Sharif are names allegedly mentioned by an Australian negotiator. Of course, the DSS is saying that how on earth would a man like Ihejerika, who had fought, insurgency to an extent, be called, names at this time? Should that be a way to pay back someone who has served Nigeria in his own capacity? How exactly do you think the federal government should take these allegations?
You see, is part of the problem we are having in Nigeria is what I mentioned at the beginning, that our office holders, they want to sing the language or the song which suits the hearings of their proprietor. The DG of DSS is becoming more political than being a public servant. She is looking, sincerely speaking, she is losing more of professional ethics.
You mean the spokesperson?
Yes, the woman.
Okay.
Yeah, she's losing the professional ethics or conducts. Was it not the government that was mentioning Buhari at some time, mentioning Atiku at some time, openly declaring that, okay, APC was involved, and she too comes out to say yes. Now, if they mention certain personality, she needs to maintain civil dips until she is able to show that they have been investigated. You see, she's not helping the country. She's supposed to do investigation, and a foreigner is providing information. Or she could just come out to say is the foreigner was paid. So you see, that's what I'm trying to say. We have corruption eating deep and destroying everything. Corruption is the cause of this. It's the cause of the military incompetence to handle this crisis. Ijerika, yes, the former army chief of staff. Yes, everybody will be disappointed. I will not believe it. But at any rate, the attitude of the DSS in defending such claim is not good. It is not DSS that should come out and say, no, it can't be. They have given you an information. Go and act on it first before you come and tell us your findings, not your personal views or opinion.
But what really does it portend, or what does it tell as regards, the efficiency of our security outfits in the country?
That's right.
If we needed an Australian negotiator to have mentioned names.
That's what I'm telling you. The international superpowers, they came in. In less than 30 days, they pulled out. Now somebody brought in an international negotiator, a foreigner completely, a white man, not even a black man. He ventured in, he said, okay, this and this. Whether true or false, start working on those ones. It is not the state apparatus that will start defending them. So what other informations would they expect from such a person?
It's all right. We're rounding up now. One-third of Borno badly affected by insurgency. That's what the governor is saying. As of now, there are reports that the military is sustaining area attacks on Bama and Goza. Do you see that finally terminating this attack?
Well, to be optimistic, one is praying that it comes to an end, that the military will claim those places, because it will not go well for the nation as a whole. Okay. But the truth must be told, our government is not sincere in the fight. I believe strongly that the military is not well equipped. And the governor that was trying to tell us the true state of the military equipment readiness, you see, is already dancing in the way of our national government, trying to give us, oh no, the terrorists have not captured that Bama, against what we can see. So our prayer is, Mr. President should be more serious and more focused. Tackle the issue of corruption in the military and forces so that they will have sufficient funds and be able to fight these insurgencies.
Adeyemi Aromolaro, thank you very much for joining us on Core Digest.
Thank you very much.
It's day 145 after the abduction of the Chibok girls. After this break, I'll be back with someone who has been at the forefront of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. Stay with us.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly, and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on OTV News.